Click the link below for a 30-day free trial of Audible. Yo! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with some more anime-related content for you lovely people. Now, as I'm sure you have heard, there is a very popular anime going around these days called Kaiju No.8. And for some reason, I always want to say Kaiju No.9. It's something about alliteration. I feel like it flows better. But yes, Kaiju No.8 is going through its first official season, and it's doing quite well. There isn't too much buzz about this show, but I think it's getting steady viewership. It's in the top 10 of these sitting ranking lists and all these different things. So the show is doing well. I'm sure it's doing well financially as well. In Japan, it was selling very well in the Shonen Jump manga, so this, as well as Sakamoto Days, were some of people's most anticipated animes going into the upcoming years, as well as Dan Dan Dan, or Dan Dan Dan, I don't know how you necessarily say it. And today I wanted to bring up a topic for myself that I was sitting there and I was thinking, and I think a lot of people in the anime and manga sphere are uncomfortable with this little tidbit that we're going to discuss here today. But first, let's talk about Kaiju No.8. But before we start today's video, guys, please make sure you use code DAFFY10 at your next purchase at animeexpress.com. Please make sure that you get yourself something nice like a hoodie, a t-shirt, a Pokeball, or even like some anime-inspired lights, anything anime-related that you need. Please make sure you head on over there. Link will be in the description below. Please make sure you use my code. That is DAFFY10. And yeah, let's get on to it. Now, first and foremost, Kaiju No.8 looks great. I know a lot of people have issues with the character sheets. A lot of people have an issue with the fact that the characters look kind of stretched out in some times, but I think it does work. There is a bit of the new Naruto art style sometimes, especially with this one flashback in particular where Kafka and I forget the other girl's name, where they're kids and they're like kind of talking to each other about their goals, their ideals, and the art style reminded me a whole lot of that Naruto 20th anniversary special. Again, looked great, but it's just a small thing that I noticed. But I love the art style. I think that the action is very well done whenever we do get to see the action. Slight use of CG backgrounds. I think it does work. I don't think it's an over-reliance or anything like that. And overall, I do like Kafka as a protagonist. I think Kafka is very clean. Kafka is very easy to root for as a older protagonist. Yes, we're not really used to that as far as the battle shonen style, but it is refreshing to see someone that's a little older kind of deal with these things, especially when he's going through that first or I believe second exam where he's like, oh my god, and like I'm turning 30. What am I doing? I can't keep up. Like, bro, I'm at the ripe age of 24, and I don't think I've ever related to an anime character so hard talking about their knees hurting. Like, hold on, wait, hold on, wait. I want you to hear something. I want y'all to hear something real quick. Hold on. Did y'all hear my elbows pop? Did y'all hear that? I'm fucking old, bro. And the basic plot of Kaiju No.8 is Kafka wanting to become an official member of this kaiju slaying organization. He wants to be a great, worthy, and respected officer, just like the girl that he grew up with. But unfortunately, he is a little later in his life, as he believes, which we get to see that you being older doesn't necessarily mean that your life is completely done. And it's a very big message as well, considering that, like, apparently I'm coming up on Unk status, and apparently people call me Unk, even though that I'm not even 24% of my life like done with. There's so many older people that they feel when they hit the age of 30, 40, 50 that their life just stops and they can't make any more progress. They can't do anything else. That's why you even see people in college where you have adults that feel some sort of way about being in college with other college age kids. My own mother graduated college at the age of 43 and she had me at 21. Well, yeah, she did have to put life on pause because she did end up having me. That's still a major accomplishment. And my mom is actually going to get her master's, so. Now, me, on the other hand, I literally cannot wait to be done with school. I allegedly graduate at the end of this year, but I fucking hate the public university system. All right, rants on college over, sorry. But as Kafka is going throughout his days, he meets a young person named Ichikawa, and they develop a bond, a strong friendship, a very sensei, kind of mentor, kind of older coworker that you really get along with kind of vibe, man. Very wholesome. I love their dynamic whenever they're on screen. And one day when they are attacked by a yoju, unfortunately, Kafka and Ichikawa are put in the hospital. Now, when Kafka and Ichikawa are put in the hospital, Ichikawa does end up giving Kafka some promising words and gives him some uplifting advice. He's saying, hey man, he's like, listen, like, it's not too late. I'm sure that you're just as worthy and just as competent as these other guys going into this exam. I'm sure you could give it one last try since they moved the age up. Unfortunately, a very small kaiju begins to crawl into his mouth and he transforms for the first time into Kaiju number 8. And with that, this is how the first episode ends. This is how we kick things off. Now, I actually really do like the fact that Kafka, which we see in the beginning episode, is he's a quote-unquote grunt worker. He does basically sanitation, he does kaiju cleanup, dissections, and all this. So we actually get a very interesting perspective because he's not a hero on the front line or anything like that. He's starting from the bottom, right? This is a very hard, tough job that not a lot of people want to do, but Kafka does try to take pride in it. We see this work ethic when he's staying up late at night while everyone's asleep in their bunks, and he's staying up trying to read and gather as much intel as possible. He knows he's not the smartest guy around, he's not the strongest, but he can do what he can to improve his own abilities, where he is at the time. And even when Kafka gets one of the suits that harnesses a kaiju's power and brings out your own latent abilities, it's stuck at 0. While everyone else is ranging from a 20 to a 30 to even a 40 and 50, Kafka's is set at 0. Now, I have not read the manga, so I'm assuming this is actually because he is a kaiju in actuality. That's why it's 0. I would please don't spoil me this comment section. I would really be sad. But Kafka gets so hyped when he sees that he does not go from a 1% or 2%, but he goes to a 0.1%. He goes to a 0.1%, and he gets hyped. It's wholesome. I love it. You always want to be in Kafka's corner. He's such this kind of big, dumb, goofy guy that you can't just help but smile with. But I do want to say that with as much money as they put behind Kaiju number 8, I mean, they got One Republic and Youngblood on the ending and opening themes. That is absolutely crazy. Also, American artists. For some reason, I don't think I've ever heard of an anime hiring on American artists 2 times over to work on a series. I don't think I've ever heard of that. If I'm incorrect on that, please let me know down in the comments below, but that is wild to me. That is not, they are not cheap by any means. Well, also look at the advertising. They advertised the holy shit out of this anime, bro. You want to talk about getting exposure? This is how you do it. I was not going a week without seeing at least 3 Kaiju number 8 ads. They had the whole like reveal first episode on Twitter and everything. I mean, whew, that budget was going crazy. Who animated this? Studio Production IG. I have absolutely no idea who you people are. But moving forward past Kaiju number 8, again, we have a lot of fun, goofy stuff, and there's a slight serious undertone with a lot of these fights, as short as the fights may be, because Kafka is so overpowered. But I do want to talk about the fact that I do think that Kaiju number 8, for all intents and purposes, is kind of mid. I know that word has kind of really been driven into the ground, especially with the youth's vernacular, but do I think that Kaiju number 8 is groundbreaking, or it really like is setting the stage and setting the precedent for all upcoming anime and everything like that? No, I don't think it is. I think it's a fun, enjoyable watch. It's not something you have to turn your brain off completely. I think it's kind of reductive. I think there's a good message in here, and obviously there's a ton of effort that a lot of artists have put into this show. But is the show amazing, fantastic on others? No, I don't necessarily think so. And that's perfectly fine. It is okay. Even look at the tropes that Kaiju number 8 goes into. Does Kafka truly act like a 30-something-year-old man, or does he really just have the attitude of a young shonen protagonist, even though he has the label of an older man? You know what I mean? Look at his humor. He's still loud. He's obnoxious. Not to say that when you hit the age of 30 that you can't be, you know, still outgoing, but it's still the same shonen tropes that we see as far as the main character's personality go. A little less so in episode 1 when he does give Ichikawa some wisdom, but when we get to his truly like deep personality bits, he is still kind of similar to a child. I mean, even look at how a lot of the fights go. All these characters take massive amounts of damage. Their suits heal them, even though that, oh, I thought I shot you in the heart. Oh, I guess I missed. Like these different types of tropes that, while they can be a little bit frustrating and they might not make sense exactly, it's still a fun experience. It's still a fun ride to go on. Especially in anime and manga sphere, there's this weird, it's almost like real life politics where people are trying to root for their teams. And if something isn't God's gift to the animation hemisphere of entertainment, it's ass for some reason. And I don't think that's fair. Take something like Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was one of my personal favorite anime, and is it like groundbreaking? No. Is it revolutionary? No, absolutely not. I wouldn't say that. But does it look great? Does it tick a lot of my boxes for what I'm personally watching? It has a lot of heart for me personally. That's why I like Demon Slayer. Look at JJK. I'm gonna say it, and y'all can roast me. Y'all can heat me up in the comments. I like JJK more than I like Dragon Ball at this current time. I love the characters more. I love the power system more. I love the fights more. I'm not saying Dragon Ball ain't influential. Listen to me. I'm not saying Dragon Ball is not influential. I'm not saying that JJK is not influential. But this is what I like, and people are so scared to talk about what they like openly. You even look at people like, oh, you fucking watch Battle Shonen, you're not a real anime fan. How about you watch fucking 10 chapters of a Berserk and fucking Guts fucking a demon before you know what real art is? And it's so pretentious. And again, I'm not gonna go into Freerun because I don't want those people coming after me again. Because I also really hurt some feelings. I'll tell you about yourself. But people are so scared to talk about what they like and acknowledge the faults of things that they like. I love JJK. Like I said, it's probably like within my top 5 shows at the moment. Are there massive gaping problems with it? Absolutely. But I would not be sitting here screaming and talking about things for hours and hours and hours and hours if I did not hold a love for the series. If you love something truly, you can critique it. If you have nothing bad to say about something, you don't truly love it. Again, I'm talking about consuming media, not necessarily people. But even still, in your own mind, you can acknowledge that yes, something is not great at this, but it might be wonderful at this, and if it takes your boxes personally. And on the flip side, if you don't like something, it is quite okay. You don't need to force yourself to like anything. Kind of going into Freerun, I acknowledge that Freerun was not a series that was for me, but I can acknowledge that it's most likely still a good show. The first couple episodes of Solo Leveling did not grab my attention. I know a lot of people loved it. Me personally, I wasn't really too hot on it. And that's okay. Kaiju number 8, for all intents and purposes, isn't this grand slam of an anime that's gonna absolutely just like tear up your mind. You're gonna be like, oh, but is it a good anime for reaction YouTubers to watch? Yes. Is it a fun, nice, goofy ride? It has really great designs for all the kaiju. I love the designs for the kaiju, especially Kafka's. Yes. So just don't be afraid to like what you like, man. And that's really what I want to talk about today. So go ahead and boot up an episode of Kaiju number 8, and again, nothing has to be peak fiction all the time. It's okay to relax and just enjoy something. But yeah, it's your boy Daffy, guys. I will see you in the next video. I got some lasagna that's done in the oven, so I gotta go. Bye.